Hello everyone, I'm the Doctor of Disaster, Mark Warnick. I have a doctoral degree in public safety and I'm considered a subject matter expert on public safety by not one, but 2 universities. So today we're going to be talking about the coronavirus. Everyone's panicking. Quick, nail the doors shut. Nail the windows shut. It's coming for us. Time out. Time out. Let's talk about it. Here's the thing about viruses. They've been around since the inception of Earth. First off, I apologize for having notes today, but I felt that it was so important to get this right so people know what's good information and what's not good information. So, I apologize for the notes, but I went ahead and did a little history on pandemics. Okay, and the first pandemic recorded was 430 BC in Athens. Then there was one 165 AD called the Antonian Plague. There was one in 250 AD Cyprus called the Cyprian Plague. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing these right. Justinian Plague, which first appeared in Egypt. And then in the 11th century, there was leprosy. And 1350, there was the Black Death, which was responsible for killing off a third. And this was the second appearance of the bubonic plague. In 1492, there was the Columbian Exchange. In 1665, the Great Plague of London was the second time that the bubonic plague came, and it killed about 20% of London's population. There's the first cholera pandemic at 1817. 1855, the third plague pandemic started in China, moved to India and Hong Kong, and the bubonic plague claimed 11 million victims. In 1875, there was the Fiji measles pandemic. In 1859, there was the Russian flu. In 1918, the Spanish flu. Now that was a bad one. That one killed 50 million people worldwide. In 1957, there was the Asian flu. 1981, we had the HIV/AIDS pandemic. Now, right now, coronavirus is not a pandemic. It has some things that make it especially dangerous. I'm going to talk about a lot of the things that we need to know, and I'm also going to talk about what we can do to prepare. There's people out there that are going absolutely nuts, and then there's people that are doing nothing. So we need to find that space somewhere in the middle. Now, I viewed the YouTube channel of Dr. John Campbell. John Campbell is a very knowledgeable man, and I checked the credibility of his sources, and his sources were right on. He has a PhD in nursing, and he is very, very thorough. So, according to him, the coronavirus is currently in 50 countries. What is the coronavirus? Comes from a large family of viruses that can cause illnesses ranging from the common cold to severe respiratory diseases. So what's that mean? It means it's lumped in with that whole group of the common cold and influenza and all that other stuff. The reason it's called the coronavirus, and people are upset, worried, concerned, over the top is it's a new novel virus. First time this strain has been seen. That's why they named it COVID-19, because it happened in December of 2019, and it is a coronavirus. Now, it can cause human respiratory infections. What it does is it typically attacks the lungs. It's similar to a cold, often caused by rhinovirus. It's similar to the flu, but it is a coronavirus, I'm going to say this wrong, variant. It has a long life on surfaces. And the reason for that is it's encapsulated in a protein. If you look at the screen behind me, you'll see what I'm talking about. That protein helps it to live quite a long time. If you look at this, it's got little crowns all the way around it. Those little crowns help protect it. The coronavirus, it's 100 nanometers. So you ask, what's 100 nanometers? Well, it's 1/10 of a micrometer, and for comparison, a red blood cell is 6,000 to 8,000 nanometers. So it's 60 to 80 times smaller than a red blood cell. Now, where does coronavirus come from? What is a coronavirus? Coronavirus is from the zoonotics. So in other words, the animals in our world can get this, and it can transfer quite often to humans. So what this means is if animals get it, we can get it. Now, let's talk about other coronaviruses that have been out there. We've got the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or as people know it, MERS. That happened in 2012, and they later found out that it came from camels, dromedary camels. In 2003, there was the Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, or SARS, and that originally came from bats. So, we as humans interact with animals all the time, and we had the swine flu. That came from, of course, the pigs. Luckily, it wasn't as transferable to humans as some of these others. We also had the bird flu, and the bird flu transmitted from bird to bird to bird to bird. Now, originally, that was not an issue. However, when it started affecting chicken flocks, and this is just a tidbit of information, when it started affecting chicken flocks, there was a major concern that this would take away the production of eggs, which not only would have caused an economic bust, but it also would have prevented us from making flu vaccines, because flu is injected into eggs and grown inside eggs. That's because it needs a living organism. So, there are a lot of zoonotic problems that we can get ourselves into from this. Now, I want to talk about how it presents itself. So let's look at it so we can reduce some of the panic that's out there. The main sign that shows up is a fever. 98% get a fever. 76% get a cough. 44% get myalgia or fatigue. 28% have sputum production. 8% get a headache. 5% cough up blood. Now, 55% have difficulty breathing or shortness of breath. Now, once again, I want to recognize John Campbell, who did his research on the World Health Organization and the CDC, and he did a wonderful job and got totally credible information. I've checked it out against his. Make sure you subscribe to John Campbell. Dr. John Campbell. What a man. So, what makes virus deadly? Find out on the next episode of The Doctor of Disaster. Click the link below to get your copy of the Doctor of Disaster's book, Emergency Incident Management Systems. This book is the go-to for incident command systems.